Crony capitalism played a significant role in undermining the true purpose of the Structural Adjustment Program, SAP, in Nigeria, distorting its objectives and exacerbating inequality. Crony capitalism refers to a system where businesses thrive not through competition and innovation, but through close relationships with government officials who provide them with favors, contracts, and preferential treatment. In the context of Nigeria's SAP, this phenomenon manifested in several ways, ultimately creating a new class of entitled rich businessmen who benefited at the expense of the general population. The privatization of state-owned enterprises, a key component of the SAP, was often marred by corruption and lack of transparency. Well-connected individuals and businesses acquired these assets at undervalued prices, consolidating wealth and power in the hands of a few. Instead of improving efficiency and promoting competition, privatization often led to monopolies or oligopolies controlled by cronies of the ruling elite. The SAP included the devaluation of the naira and the liberalization of foreign exchange markets. However, access to foreign exchange was often restricted to politically connected individuals and businesses who used it to import goods at preferential rates or engage in speculative activities. This created a parallel market for foreign exchange, further disadvantaging small businesses and the general population. Despite the SAP's aim to reduce government subsidies, crony capitalists often lobbied for and received subsidies, tax breaks, and other forms of government support. This rent-seeking behavior diverted resources away from productive sectors of the economy. For example, in the agricultural sector, inputs like fertilizers and seeds were often distributed through corrupt channels, benefiting elites rather than small-scale farmers. Trade liberalization under the SAP was supposed to promote exports and reduce import dependency. However, crony capitalists exploited loopholes to engage in smuggling and under-invoicing, evading tariffs and taxes. This not only undermined local industries, but also deprived the government of much-needed revenue. Crony capitalism thrived in an environment of weak institutions and lack of accountability. Regulatory bodies were often compromised and enforcement of rules was selective. This allowed the new class of entitled businessmen to operate with impunity, disregarding the welfare of the general population. The concentration of wealth and resources in the hands of a few elites widened the gap between the rich and the poor. The new class of entitled businessmen amassed significant wealth, while the majority of Nigerians faced declining living standards. The blatant favoritism and corruption associated with the SAP eroded public trust in government and economic reforms. Many Nigerians viewed the program as a tool for enriching the elite rather than addressing economic challenges. Crony capitalism distorted market mechanisms, stifled competition, and discouraged investment in productive sectors. This hindered the diversification and long-term growth of the Nigerian economy. The perceived injustice and inequality fueled social unrest, protests, and strikes. The general population, particularly the poor and vulnerable, bore the brunt of the economic hardships exacerbated by crony capitalism. Crony capitalism fundamentally undermined the true purpose of the Structural Adjustment Program in Nigeria. Instead of promoting economic stability, diversification, and equitable growth, the SAP became a vehicle for enriching a select few at the expense of the broader population. The new class of entitled businessmen who emerged from this system prioritized their own interests over the welfare of Nigerians, perpetuating a cycle of inequality and underdevelopment. Addressing these issues requires strong institutions, transparency, and a commitment to inclusive economic policies that prioritize the well-being of all citizens.